Hey everybody, what's up? This is Horror and Heavy Metal World, and it's the day after Christmas, and I wanted to share some Christmas horror movies with you. I hope everybody had a great Christmas, got all you wanted, ate a bunch of food, laid around on the couch, watched horror movies, hopefully. If not, then whatever other traditional stuff you may be doing. To me, I like to watch horror movies on Christmas when I'm with my family. But doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you just gotta watch A Christmas Story and stuff like that. But this year was pretty low key, and I was able to get a horror movie in at least. But if you're wanting to have some good Christmas horror movies, I have a few suggestions. Um, Hope that you'll check them out if you haven't already. First one is Krampus. This is a newer release. I want to say it was like a couple of years ago. Don't know exactly when, but Krampus. It's the story of like this demonic force that's out to punish non-believers of Santa Claus or whatever. It's pretty fun. I actually didn't know what to expect really when this first came out. I didn't know a lot about it outside of the premise of it. Um, it ended up being pretty entertaining. I mean, just got definitely some horror to it, and it's not really a family movie. Uh, Unless your family's a little off like mine is, sometimes we could watch stuff like this. But yeah, this is definitely one you would check out. I've had it. I bought it. I'll say a few weeks after it came out on Blu-ray and DVD. I don't know. Yeah, well, I believe it did go to the theaters, but I didn't get to see it at the theaters. But definitely worth watching. I know everybody might be kind of done with Christmas, but you're never done with horror. Definitely check this one out. Next one was kind of a surprise one for me. It's called Better Watch Out. Now, this one I knew nothing about outside of that it was classified as kind of a horror thriller kind of movie. And it sounded interesting to me, so I checked it out. There's this little kind of twisted young teenage kid that still has to have a babysitter, and they end up playing pranks on her. I want to say I don't want to give too much away if you haven't seen the movie. But this one's actually kind of a, I don't want to call it a hidden gem, but I definitely underestimated this one. I would definitely recommend checking this one out. I enjoyed it. Um, there's a few things that'll surprise you. I mean, it's a little different. It's a kind of cool story. It wasn't bad. Like I said, it actually surprised me. I didn't really know what to expect with this at all. But I finished the whole movie. I enjoyed it. Definitely worth the watch. Now going to some more classics. You got Silent Night, Deadly Night. I don't want to say the one that started it all, but it was very controversial whenever it did come out way back when. I want to say it was early 80s, 83, 84 probably, 84. And I remember it was banned, and it took me a little while to find this on the VHS way back when, from what I remember. And I ended up renting it, and its sequel, the part two, which is also on here. It's a double feature. This is the old Anchor Bay double feature from way back when. Anyway, the story of this one, if you don't know, is this little boy. He witnessed like a brutal rape and murder of his family when he was a young kid, and then he was kind of, I don't say tortured, but he was living with these nuns that were pretty terrible to him, and he grew up, of course, messed up, and his, I don't want to say revenge, but his thing he turned to was punishing the naughty, what he considered, whatever he deemed naughty, and of course he would kill them. And that's pretty much what happens throughout the movie. Some pretty good gory stuff. Kind of some classic cult kind of scenes in there. If you've watched a lot of like top 10 and best horror movies and whatever, this one's probably been in there at some point. I'm sure on some of those lists. I would put it kind of high up on my list for the horror movies as far as holiday horror, Christmas horror, whatever you want to call it. And the sequel is just basically like the same idea, only it's his younger brother that is the main character. The original character's younger brother is in this, and it's just more of the same, punishing the naughty, well, who he deems naughty. So that's those two. Definitely worth checking out. So they've held up pretty good. It's a little grainy, like 80s horror. They, of course, made some sequels since those were kind of had a cult following and were successful enough for what they were. And this is part 3, 4, and 5. It's a cool little set. If you haven't picked it up, each one has its own disc. I was thinking it was 2 discs, but each one has its own disc. It's a 3 disc set. I don't believe they put this on Blu-ray yet. Doesn't mean they won't, since they're releasing kind of everything on Blu-ray, which is good and bad for me. Since, I've been upgrading a lot of my DVDs to Blu-rays. And, yeah, I spent a lot of money, but I like seeing the better pictures and better transfers, the 4K restorations and all that kind of stuff on these old classic 70s, 80s, even 90s horror movies. But this, like I said, it's more of the same. I mean, it's pretty much the same idea. If you want to complete it, or you just want to have kind of like a Silent Night, Deadly Night kind of marathon, you can watch 1 and 2, maybe 1 and 2 one day, and then 3, 4, 5 the next day. That's kind of what I did one day. But I would definitely check them out. This is a cool set. Like I said, they haven't made it on Blu-ray yet, and I haven't really seen this in a lot of stores. Of course, a lot of stores around me. I don't know if it's the same around you, but a lot of them aren't selling as many DVDs or Blu-rays. Some stores are completely getting rid of at least DVDs. Some of them will keep some Blu-rays and maybe a few 4Ks, but like DVDs, you can't. You have to go online pretty much now to get DVDs. I mean, everybody's kind of, their sections get smaller and smaller and smaller at the stores when I go there, which kind of bums me out, but it's a sign of the times, I guess, with the digital and the downloading and all that kind of stuff and the streaming. I mean, I understand it. It's technology, but I'm old school. I like the physical media. I like having actual cases and artworks. I'm big on horror artwork. But it's that one. The last one is Silent Night, which is kind of a remake / sequel, I guess. I don't know. I guess they kind of put it out there like it was kind of a remake of the original. It's the same storyline pretty much, but I don't know, it's definitely more of a modern feel on it. It's got Malcolm McDowell, of course, from Halloween and Clockwork Orange and numerous other things, which I'm a big fan of his. He's in it, and I forgot who else was in it. There was another kind of big name person in there. I'm not sure. Oh, whatever. Anyway, he's in it. That's all you need to know. Malcolm McDowell. Oh, here we go. I'm stupid. Donald Logue. I don't know if you know him. He's the guy that's Harvey on Gotham and Grounded for Life, was it? I think he was on. Something like that. Anyway, you would know him if you saw him. Anyway, they're both in there, and it's a decent little remake / sequel-ish kind of thing. Definitely worth watching. For me, I thought it was worth keeping, so I have it in the collection. And that's it. There's plenty of horror movies that are based around holidays, especially Christmas. A lot of 80s, 70s, 80s kind of timeline. But definitely a lot worth watching. These are just a few suggestions. I have some more other ones too, but I don't want to make this video too long. There's a lot of other ones. There's one I want to say is called Elves. Jack Frost. That one I did want to share with you, but I forgot about it. Definitely Jack Frost, the Killer Snowman. You can't beat that. There's actually a sequel of it too, so definitely check those out as well. And like I said, there's just, if I sat and thought about it, there's so many Christmas horror movies that you could check out. And hopefully I give you some ideas. If you have any other ideas or have any other cool horror holiday movies, I don't care if it's like Halloween, Thanksgiving, whatever, any of the holidays, Valentine's Day, My Bloody Valentine, whatever. Any kind of horror movies you could suggest for horror holiday time that maybe I haven't went over or maybe I don't know about. I'm always looking for little hidden gems. It's pretty tough though for me because I've watched quite a few horror movies. Some of them I might not remember as much if I was really young when I watched them, but for the most part, I've pretty much seen most horror movies. I mean, anything from like old cheesy B movies to, mainstream, of course, Friday the 13th, Halloween, some of the crappy remakes and all that kind of stuff too. But always looking for ideas. There's always somebody that'll surprise me with something I haven't seen or I don't remember at all that I want to rewatch. So definitely always looking for suggestions. So hope you liked the video. Hope I gave you some ideas. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it if you guys subscribe. If you like the content, you can give the thumbs, the comments. I like interacting, so leave me a message and I'll respond, have a conversation, and I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.